So today I'm going to talk about mainly refining balance for those who've got at least some good activity, can probably get out of a chair independently, maybe using a little bit of extra effort, a little bit of stability from the arm of a chair. Somebody refining what they're doing, and once they're up, that they can perhaps move a little bit, maybe with some form of walking stick or frame. So those are the kind of people that this next section might apply to. So those people can help themselves with a lot of exercises just done sitting down. And here's how you can find out whether this will help you. Because a lot of people who are sitting in a chair, maybe it is a wheelchair or maybe in an ordinary chair, because they can sit still, they may think that they've got sitting balance. And that's something that might be improvable. So there's some things that you can try. And here's a simple one, which is if you're sitting, try and sit away from the back of the chair and try a simple maneuver like turning to one side and turning to the other side. So the camera on my left will show that my body stayed forward as I did this. But what will frequently happen is somebody who's got even slight difficulties, as they begin to turn, they start actually to fall backwards to achieve the turn. Like that. So this area here, you'll notice if I do it in my own healthful, natural way, this bit stays forward. And a lot of people, they're either starting from here in this slightly slumped position, or if they are sat up, or they're prompted to sit up either by watching a self-help video like this or working with a therapist. If they're reminded to sit up, they do, and then as they try to add something else, they can't hold it because they're not actually doing it automatically. So what you can do about that are some simple things. You can try similar tests with the head. A lot of people when they're sitting like this, and the side camera again will show that as I move my head around, not much happens to my lower back. But again, those who've got some balance difficulties will probably either drop the lower back or pull one shoulder back or the other, depending upon which side of their body is most affected. So what we can do is add in some extra sensory prompts. What does that mean? Well, very straightforwardly, something that you can feel, probably in the low back, just to remind you that as you start to turn or turn the shoulders, that your low back should stay up. Also adding in, if possible, bearing in mind potential hip replacements or back pain or just simply stiffness in the hip joint, but exercises where you work on other components of the spine movements. So here I'm showing one where I'm lifting one side of my hip and hip and bottom, and you can see from the video from the camera on the front that doing that in a healthful state, there's a little bit of sideways tracking of the head, a little bit of lift in the one shoulder, a little drop in the other, and if you can get active like that, that's going to help. If if you have got balance problems, what you may well see is as you try and get across is a drop in the shoulder here, and a lift or twist of the shoulder as you're trying to lift. In this instance, I'm lifting my left hip, so the correct thing is that my right shoulder comes up, but you'll often see lift on the left and drop on the right, and then straining to get the head back to the middle, probably using too much side bend. Various errors might be happening there. So these are little tips and tricks to work on, but if you can get some extra activity in the low back, extra control here, again without the low back slumping, you can get some extra activity here, then that will greatly affect how you do the turning manoeuvres, whether you can actually stay in control in the centre. It's useful to refer to one of the other videos in this series about sitting and standing, because this is where we control our weight best. This is the section that does our balance. If you get the movements right here, then other things to do with balance do become easier. So the next one in the series is going to be about how you can really help yourself know where upright is, because very often people become, particularly if they've got severe balance difficulties, they become very fearful about moving when they don't seem to outsiders to be falling over, and when they look back on it they go, well, I didn't fall, I felt very unsafe, but I didn't actually fall. And a big chunk of that is to be seen in how we control our eye and head movements. So that'll be the next in the series.